Theresa Caputo, the famed Long Island medium, sashayed into a bustling kitchen appliance store on a sunny afternoon, her signature blonde hair teased to perfection and her nails shimmering like tiny jewels. She was on a mission to buy a juicer, inspired by a newfound commitment to healthier living. But as anyone familiar with Theresa's life knows, even the simplest errands often lead to extraordinary encounters. The store was alive with the hum of conversation and the whir of demonstration blenders. Theresa approached a sleek display of juicers, her eyes scanning the options. She ran her hand over a stainless steel model and smiled at a passing employee. But before she could dive into comparing wattages and pulp settings, the familiar feeling washed over her, a tingling in her hands, a slight pressure on her chest. Spirit was calling. Theresa glanced around, her eyes narrowing in on a woman near the citrus press section. The woman, in her mid-50s, had an air of distracted melancholy about her, as if she were physically present but mentally elsewhere. She clutched a glass lemon squeezer in one hand, staring at it blankly. Theresa hesitated for a moment. Over the years, she had learned to balance her gift with the boundaries of everyday life. But Spirit wasn't one for subtlety. She felt a name, Anthony, loud and clear in her mind. With a deep breath, Theresa approached the woman. "Excuse me," she said, her Long Island accent as warm and direct as ever. "I'm sorry to bother you, but I'm Theresa and I'm a medium. I couldn't help but feel a strong connection to Spirit just now, and I believe it's meant for you." The woman's eyes widened, her grip on the lemon squeezer tightening. "A medium?" she repeated, her voice trembling slightly. "Yes," Theresa said, her tone gentle but confident. "I feel a young man coming through. His name is Anthony. Does that name mean anything to you?" The woman's face crumpled and tears sprang to her eyes. "Anthony was my son," she whispered. "He passed away 2 years ago in a car accident." Theresa nodded, her own eyes softening. "He's here with us now and he wants you to know he's okay. He keeps showing me a red baseball cap. Does that mean anything?" The woman gasped, covering her mouth with one hand. "He wore a red cap everywhere. It was his favorite. I've kept it in my room ever since he passed." Theresa smiled. "He's showing me the cap because he knows how much it means to you. He's saying, 'Mom, I love you and I'm always with you.' He's also talking about a special lemon cake. Does that make sense?" The woman's tears flowed freely now. "I used to bake lemon cake for him on his birthday every year. It was his favorite. He wants you to keep baking it," Theresa said. "Not just for him but for you, to keep that joy alive. He's so proud of you and wants you to know that he's at peace." The woman nodded, her sobs easing into a shaky smile. "Thank you," she whispered. "I've been struggling so much and this means everything." Theresa placed a comforting hand on the woman's shoulder. "You're welcome. Spirit works in mysterious ways, but they always find a way to connect." As the woman wiped her tears, Theresa returned to the juicer display, her heart full. She chose a sleek, top-of-the-line model, knowing that even in the most ordinary moments, extraordinary things could happen. However, Stacy Pearson was just like any other busy woman juggling life's demands. At 38, she was a single mother of 2, working a full-time job as a real estate agent while trying to hold herself together. Life hadn't been kind lately. The weight of grief she carried was immense, following the sudden loss of her younger sister, Emily, in a tragic accident just a year prior. Today, Stacy had reluctantly dragged herself to the local home goods store. Her blender had broken, and her kids had begged for their favorite green smoothies. She knew she needed a replacement, but the truth was, Stacy dreaded outings like this. Everything reminded her of Emily, the little things they used to do together, like shopping or trying out new recipes. Walking through the aisles, Stacy paused in front of a display of blenders and juicers. She reached out to pick up a sleek black model, but her fingers trembled. Emily had always been the adventurous one, the one to nudge Stacy into trying the latest health trends. "You'll love juicing," Emily used to say with a grin. A sudden voice startled Stacy. "Excuse me, hon, but I'm getting some strong energy over here." Stacy turned to see a petite blonde woman standing a few feet away. Her hair was styled in an impressive bouffant, and she was wearing a leopard print blouse with jeans that hugged her frame just right. Stacy blinked. There was no mistaking who this was. "Are you Theresa Caputo?" Stacy asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Theresa smiled warmly and nodded. "Yes, that's me. And listen, I don't mean to intrude, but I'm a medium and Spirit is really coming through strong for you right now. Do you mind if I share what I'm feeling?" Stacy froze. She had seen Theresa on TV, delivering readings that brought closure to so many people. But this? Could this really be happening to her? I guess, Stacy stammered, her heart pounding. Theresa stepped closer, her expression soft and reassuring. I feel a young woman coming through. She's very close to you, like a sister or best friend. She's telling me her name starts with an E. Emily. Stacy's breath hitched and she felt her knees weaken. That's my sister, she said, her voice cracking. Theresa nodded, her gaze focused but kind. She's showing me a charm bracelet, one with little hearts or charms on it. Does that mean anything to you? Stacy's hand instinctively went to her wrist, where she wore a silver charm bracelet. It was a gift from Emily on her last birthday, each charm representing a memory they'd shared. Yes, Stacy whispered, tears brimming in her eyes. She gave this to me. Theresa smiled softly. She's telling me she loves that you still wear it. She wants you to know she's always with you and she's saying I'm okay. Stacy felt the floodgates open as tears spilled down her cheeks. I miss her so much, she said. I've been so lost without her. She knows, Theresa said gently. But she's showing me something else. Did you two have a special place you'd go together, like a cafe or a park? She's saying something about coffee. Stacy nodded, her hands trembling. We used to meet at this little coffee shop every Saturday morning. It was our thing. Theresa smiled again. She wants you to keep going. She's saying you've stopped, but she's there with you every time you think of her. She doesn't want you to stop living your life because she's gone. She's saying live for both of us. Stacy sobbed, the weight of her grief lifting just slightly as Theresa spoke. Thank you, she whispered. I needed to hear that. Theresa placed a comforting hand on Stacy's arm. You're welcome, hon. Your sister's love for you is so strong it's undeniable. She'll always be with you. As Theresa stepped back, giving Stacy a moment to collect herself, the medium smiled warmly. Now about that juicer, your sister is telling me you should go with the one on the left. Apparently she liked carrot juice. Stacy couldn't help but laugh through her tears, a sense of peace washing over her. Maybe, just maybe, she wasn't as alone as she thought. However, the gym was alive with energy, machines whirring, weights clanging, and music thumping from overhead speakers. Theresa Caputo adjusted the waistband of her leggings, her hair as perfectly styled as ever despite the sweat forming on her brow. Exercise wasn't her favorite pastime, but her trainer, Gina, insisted she stick to her routine. You're doing great, Theresa, Gina said, her upbeat tone cutting through the sounds of exertion. Just 5 more squats. Feel the burn. Theresa rolled her eyes playfully. I'm feeling more than the burn, hon, I'm feeling spirit. Gina laughed, used to Theresa's quirky remarks. As Long Island's famous medium, Theresa always seemed to have one foot in the physical world and one in the spiritual. Still, Gina had to admit it was uncanny how often Theresa's feelings turned into eerily accurate messages. As Theresa moved to the leg press machine, she paused mid-step, her hand flying to her chest. The familiar weight of spirit pressed against her, the sensation as undeniable as it was sudden. She glanced around the gym, her gaze landing on a young man at the free weights. He was tall, muscular, and focused on his bicep curls, unaware of Theresa's intense stare. Gina, Theresa whispered, waving her trainer over. Spirit is screaming at me right now. That guy over there? Someone's trying to get a message through to him. Gina followed her gaze. Oh boy. Are you sure you want to do this here? This is a gym, not one of your events. I know, but Spirit doesn't wait for convenient timing, Theresa said, already making her way toward the man. He noticed her approach and lowered his dumbbells, looking confused but polite. Hi. Can I help you with something? Theresa offered a warm smile. Hi, I'm Theresa and I'm a medium. I know this might sound strange, but Spirit is coming through very strongly for you right now. Do you mind if I share what I'm getting? The man blinked, clearly caught off guard. A medium? Like you talk to dead people? Exactly, Theresa said, her tone gentle but confident. I promise I'm not crazy. I just feel a strong connection to someone who's passed and they want to reach you. He hesitated, glancing around the gym as if seeking an escape route. But something in Theresa's earnest expression made him pause. Okay, sure. What are they saying? Theresa closed her eyes for a moment, focusing on the energy around her. I'm feeling a father figure, like a dad or an uncle. He passed suddenly and he's showing me a baseball glove. Does that mean anything to you? The man's face went pale. He set the dumbbells down and sat on the nearby bench. My dad, he said quietly. He died of a heart attack last year. We used to play catch every weekend. Theresa nodded, her voice softening. He's showing me those moments because they meant so much to him. He's saying he's sorry for leaving so soon, but he's proud of the man you're becoming. He's also mentioning a letter. Did you write something to him after he passed? Tears welled in the man's eyes. I wrote him a letter the night after the funeral. I didn't know how else to deal with it. He read it, Theresa said firmly. He's saying, thank you for telling me how you felt. I hear you and I'm with you. He wants you to know he's still watching over you, cheering you on. The man wiped his face with his towel, overwhelmed but visibly comforted. Wow. Thank you. I didn't think I believed in this kind of thing, but that was him. No one else would know those details. Theresa smiled, placing a reassuring hand on his shoulder. Spirit doesn't lie, Han. He loves you and wants you to keep living your life. He's at peace. As Theresa stepped away, giving the man some space to process, Gina approached with a raised eyebrow. You can't even come to the gym without giving someone a reading. Theresa shrugged, her grin unapologetic. Spirit doesn't take a day off, so neither do I. The rest of Theresa's workout flew by, her heart light with the satisfaction of having brought a little more peace into someone's life. After all, whether she was on stage, in the grocery store, or at the gym, Theresa knew her gift was meant to be shared, wherever and whenever Spirit called. Hello lovely viewers, welcome to my channel. I am Sabrina, hope your day is so well. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe the channel.